Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Hello, this is Joe Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is a firm that practices family law exclusively. We focus on only one area of the law to maximize our strength and effectiveness as advocates for clients that have everything on the line: their homes, retirement, savings, and most importantly, their children. We're the partner our clients count on. If we can be of help to you, give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Chicagoland area attorneys. 1 Lincoln Center, 1AW140 Butterfield Road, 920 Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois, 60181.
Edgy Tim is here. Coach Rod is here. The best high school football fans in the state are here. It's time for Pigskin Preview. Coaches, players, fans, and experts. You get them all right here on Pigskin Preview. Powered by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy and John Wright.
Oh, and if you can only hear the show before, during, and after the show, ladies and gentlemen, only if.
Oh, my.
Welcome to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. Edgy Tim, along with the coach Joe Rudiger and Evan Bredesen, bringing you this Week 6 edition. Coach Joe?
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard. And as you know, this show and every show is sponsored by our fantastic State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
The WJOL Game of the Week, Friday Night Lights, kicks things off tomorrow night at 6:05 with Evan Bredesen. Then we get down and we get after it. Friday, 7 o'clock kickoff.
Yes.
Wilmington at Reed Custer, making that long, grueling 6.6-mile drive from Wilmington to Braidwood to watch the ball game. So enough screwing around. Let's get after it. Head coach of your Reed Custer Comets, Gavin Johnson, probably breaking down film, or he's watching you soccer practice. Good evening, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
So are we breaking film, or are we watching you soccer practice?
I am heading to soccer right after this. So we just got done with our team dinner, and then I'm going to be heading over to watch soccer.
Okay, so you bring up team dinner. We have to know what we had tonight. What did we eat?
Tonight we had some subs, just some sub sandwiches, some chips, and just a quick and easy one to get out and off our feet.
Is it in town sponsors? Is it just the parents doing it? How do you guys work your team dinner?
Our Gridiron Club, they do it on their own. You know what? I didn't even ask where they're from. So we have some local businesses that really do a good job of helping us out, and then they do a great job of, I don't even know what we're eating half the time. I'll walk in with, what's for dinner tonight? So they do a great job of just helping us out and organizing all that left off my plate.
That Gridiron Club sounds like our kind of people, Joe.
Yes.
They're the ones that lined up, I think, that taco truck. And
I'm all for that.
Those are our kind of people, I think.
Yes, indeed.
We need to.
Yeah, they are great. They are great.
Well, here we go. It's a game that I've got to imagine in some ways you're excited. You can't wait to get going. I got to imagine you got to be proud. I know you're proud of your kids, but you've got to be proud of your kids of the fact that, look, I think a lot of people very early on pointed to this game and saying, hey, this one could shape up to be something big. And the fact that your kids have stayed locked in for 5 weeks going into this without a slip up, I think that says a lot, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. It just goes with our theme of the unfinished business. That's our season motto. And, we've been able to take care of business, obviously, this year. Last year, we were hoping to get to this point. This year, we were just waiting for this game to get here. And I know, obviously, we had a tough one last week with Piatone as well. But, and we try to distract ourselves, but the community is quick to remind us, oh, man, we can't wait for week 6. We can't wait. So our kids just staying focused. Absolutely. I'm really proud of them. That's hard to do.
Gavin, thank you for the stats too, by the way. I did get them today.
No problem.
I look at the stats and I saw some film on you guys. And I mean, 5, 6 guys, well, 6 counting Jake run the football. And I'm impressed as far as the running of all those guys. But what really impressed me was your offensive line, especially Matt Garreau, I believe you pronounce his name, and Cody Marshner. When those guys pull, they get out there. I mean, they're fast, they're big, and they pull very well. And I like to watch line play also. And I think your offensive line, especially those 2 guys, do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the guards are a really big position to play in our offense. We're a power read type of team, and Matt Giroux has been just an absolute blessing to have this year. He's a junior. He dressed up for us last year, but didn't play. We were missing 3 seniors from last year's team coming into the season. We didn't know how exactly that would pan out, and he has been phenomenal stepping into that role. And then obviously Cody was, he was all-stater last year for us, and there's a reason for that. Just a mean, nasty kid who's a great wrestler. Everybody's doing a great job, though. Tyzier at center, Gunnar Berg and Gavin Brusiak at the tackles. They are definitely paving the way, and there's some nice, easy holes for those guys to run through, that's for sure.
Wilmington well, they know you, so there's not going to be any really major secrets tomorrow night. But how do you prepare for that Wilmington offense in a week?
It's tough, especially since we're such contrasting styles of play. But luckily, we have played against Lyle already this year, who runs double wing, and then just last week we played against Peatone. So 2 good games to kind of set us up, and we had the same situation last year. You just can't simulate the speed and how physical the runners from Wilmington are. I mean, James and Farrell they are tough dudes. I never see them come down on one tackle. Barry Southall does such a good job of, getting their guys up to the next level. I mean, they're a well-oiled machine for a reason, and you just can't simulate that. But it's great the last couple of weeks to have those warm-ups for sure.
And Gavin, everybody looks at the point totals for the offense, and you go, "Oh my gosh!" And even when we're not even there, and we hear a score from Evan here, and I go, "Holy cow!" I said, "Is it the third quarter?" I go, "No, it's the first."
Well,
quarter.
like last week, what was it, 41 points? I'm like, "Oh no, they're slipping."
Yeah, but with all that, and I know guys go both ways, and I know you probably sub a little bit too. But I don't know if the defense gets enough love for that. 13 points only given up all year. That crew has to be doing a dynamic job also.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's defense, wins you the championships, as the old saying goes. And that's something we really focused on this summer. Obviously, our offense is doing a great job leading the state in scoring, but we really prided ourselves on stopping the run this year and making sure that we're just as mean and nasty as any team we play. And we have great team speed. We fly the ball, and we're pretty opportunistic, and we make the most of the balls in the air, getting an interception or forcing a fumble here and there. So really happy with how we've been playing defensively. That's, and honestly, those 13 points, I'm really upset about those 13 points because both those games, it was like, come on, you got to be kidding me. But we're really happy to just have 13.
Got to imagine, especially going into a game like this, there's a little more emphasis on special teams play.
Yeah, absolutely. Just revamping a couple things here and there. And, that's where we felt like the game actually turned last year. We played over there at their homecoming, and, we got a little oversight. I got oversight as a coach myself. I mean, that was a big one. And, opening kickoff, we kicked the block on the tee. And it ended up being a little pooch, and they ran it back to like the plus 35-yard line. And they scored a field goal right away. And it's definitely something you can't do against a Wilmington team.
As far as you personally going into this, you mentioned maybe you got psyched out last year a little bit, which, believe me, happens.
Yes.
Happens all the time.
Yes, it is.
Is there a couple of key points going into the locker room at the very end, just to talk to your kids before you take the field? What are a couple points of emphasis you're going to have on the board for tomorrow night?
Just play within ourselves. I mean, we've been dialed in all year. This is kind of the moment we've been waiting for. Some of these kids now, this is their third year starting. We lost to them by 5 2 years ago in the spring, and then obviously last year. So we feel like we're a better team, and We feel like if we just play within ourselves and everybody does their job, you do your 1/11. Your brother next to you is going to make the play as well. So we got to play responsible football and play your assignment, and who's going to make the plays. But you just have to be opportunistic when it comes your way.
Well, again, this will be the 1340 WJOL game of the week. Again, as we mentioned, 6:05 Friday Night Lights. Evan will set the stage. 7 o'clock kickoff from Braidwood. Reed Custer host Wilmington in a terrific South Will County showdown for sure. Gavin, wish you guys the best of luck. Again, just hoping for a great game, which I'm sure it will be tomorrow night. And best of luck. Go get them.
Yes, good luck, Gavin.
Hey, thanks, guys. Really appreciate you having me, and we'll see you tomorrow night, Coach.
Yes, Gavin. I'll be
all
there.
right. Thanks, Gavin. Gavin Johnson joining us from Reed Custer and Joe. It's go time. It's finally here.
Yeah, you've waited all year, and again, especially what happened, the last couple of years, and these guys will definitely be ready. And I think a lot of these guys played in the game last year, and as Gavin said, a little bit, they're used to this now.
Yeah,
and he knows how to settle these kids down. So that's one thing. And they're, like I said, they're very impressive. They run that shotgun spread, that read option.
Yep.
4 or 5 guys run the football, and again, Jake McPherson is a quality quarterback. He's a dual threat with running and throwing.
Oh, if it's up to me, he never touches the ball. They're on the field too busy playing defense if I'm Wilmington.
Oh, yeah.
You're just never getting the football back.
I'll give you my take in a little bit.
I know what your take's going to be there, Mr. Man. It's not our first rodeo,
Yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
right,
it's going to be definitely a contrast to styles.
Oh,
There's
God,
no
yes.
doubt about it.
Yes.
But that's what's going to make it a great game.
Yes.
And again, I've seen, you look at my game last Friday out at Creed, it was 14-12 at halftime, wound up being 48-42. So you just never know what's going to happen. You
Yes.
just don't. So that's high school football. Again, we are going to be guest intensive for the next segment as well. And then 6:45, we'll have take some calls. 7:45 spot as well. We'll take some calls. So we'll try to sneak in there a little bit. Love to get your comments. Always love hearing from you. Hello to our viewers online at YouTube. By the way, you can watch this program live. God, I don't know why you would, but we are live on YouTube. So you can just go to my website or go to my Twitter at EDGYTIM on Twitter. Tweet out all kinds of links there. Matthew, now, thank you very much for the
Thank you for the comments.
Is that like your son-in-law, Joe, or
I don't think
family
so.
member?
I don't think so.
So we appreciate the kind words for sure. And we love doing the show. So I hope it definitely reflects to you
Yes.
guys at home watching and listening as well.
Are we just going to ignore the fact that last week Joe said for the Joliet Catholic Cremoni game, first team to 48 wins, and the final score ended up being 48-42?
The old guy knows
Like-
what he's doing. every
Does
once
he
in
have a
while.
DeLorean tucked away somewhere?
He knows
Did he
what
get a
he's
Gray
doing every
Sports
once in a while.
Almanac and get the result beforehand? How the heck did you peg that one that
Take a
badly,
blind squirrel
Joe?
flies a nut every once in a while.
I mean, you hit that
Great
nail
call.
right on the head.
I
First
would've
with the
especially
48
at halftime.
wins.
Halftime, I would have laughed at you. There's no way this is getting a 48.
Well, you laugh anyway. I mean, so it
I do.
doesn't matter.
I do. I do way too much. So, again, that is our game of the week. Don't go anywhere, by the way. After the break, we will have Jeff Reince, and we will get the other side of this huge game and find out what the Wildcats have got cooking. And, Joe, how they're going to manage that rough drive from
You
Wilmington.
could walk there.
I wonder how many lights? Like 2, maybe?
Well, there's
Oh,
the one
my.
at Coal City Road,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's the last.
That's about
one to
it, I
downtown
think.
Braidwood.
Yeah. So we'll definitely talk to Jeff Reince and get the idea. A lot of good games that we talked about certainly in the area, Joe. We got a minute or two before we have to go up against a break. Let's go through a few.
All right.
Joliet Catholic, we talked about them coming off a tough loss to Crete. They are on the road at St. Lawrence. Big game for the Hillmen.
Yeah, I think they'll right the ship and they're going to score. Hopefully defensively they figure some things out, but I'm picking the Hilltops.
Joe, I've told you all year, I don't know what's going on at Montini, but they seem to have righted the ship a little bit. But I still think this young, hungry Providence team gets them tomorrow.
They're scoring some points, and that was a big problem of theirs the first couple of weeks, and they're starting to score points now.
Joe Mantino on the road at Coal City.
I'm picking the Kohlers.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Mantino gets eliminated after tomorrow night.
Yep.
The Tone at 3-2, and to be fair, Coach Tully's had a couple of tough games in a row here. They are back on the road at Streeter.
I'm picking the Tone on this one, Coach Tully.
We're going to save the Morris Richmond Burton game till the 7:00 hour. We will have Alan Thorson on to talk about the Morris football team and what they're preparing for in a huge game. Joe, this is how bad the season's been for TF North.
Okay.
They've only played 4 games this year. That record is correct. It's not a misprint.
But
4 games.
how?
They had, I don't know, I got to find out from IHSA what they're doing. They had 5 games scheduled. They did not play week 1. I don't know if it's a forfeit, but it's just listed. If you look in the IHSA website, it just listed an opponent with no results. So they're listed as 0-4.
Wow.
They'll go 0-5
Yeah,
after
yes.
playing at Lamont.
Yes, I think so.
Right. I can't even talk them up anymore, Joe. I
No.
can't do it. It hurts.
No, you
Smile through the pain, Joe.
can't. No, you can't.
So I've been doing all month long. Just smile through the pain.
Man, the White Sox.
We don't talk about that anymore. It's over. It's done.
It's taken us a week, but we finally won one today, though.
It's over. I got a really good video to show you in between on the break. Speaking of which, you know what? Let's go take a break. We are going to step aside. Don't go anywhere, especially you Reed Custer fans. We are going to get the inside scoop from Wilmington head coach Jeff Reince here on the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Who wants a career that's in demand with good pay, benefits, and is right in this area? You do. All you need is 1 month of training to get licensed in CDL truck driving. And Advantage Driver Training is here to make it happen for you. You've heard all the advantages of getting your CDL truck driver's license from Advantage Driver Training, like choosing from day or evening classes, taught by experienced truck drivers with individual attention in small class sizes in a Secretary of State approved CDL school. This is a whole new career in just 4 weeks with one low price and no hidden costs. Take advantage of Advantage Driver Training's huge new facility for your future. Don't wait any longer. Advantage Driver Training has always been your best option for CDL truck driving school. So what are you waiting for? Get on the road to your new career. Call 815-725-5581 or go online to advantage-drivertraining.com. Advantage Driver Training, going the extra mile for you.
When was the last time you had a proper bra fitting? It's probably been a while. I'm Dawn Coletta, the owner of Elegance Underneath in Naperville, and I'd like to invite you in to experience our True Fit fitting. For over 14 years, the team of associates at Elegance Underneath have been helping our amazing customers find their true fit. Elegance Underneath offers the best fitting bras in all shapes, styles, colors, and sizes, but specialize in double D cup and above in the highest quality brands and latest styles. We also offer a selection of shapewear, panties, and more. New customers always enjoy a discount on all full price merchandise and no appointment needed. Whether you need to replace your old stretched out bras, need a new fit, or are looking for new styles, Elegance Underneath has an amazing selection and helpful staff to help you find a great fitting bra that you love. Like Elegance Underneath on Facebook, and come see us at Route 59 and 95th Street in Naperville.
Are you struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Michelle Kerfin handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else and more money too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen and get to a better state with State Farm. Find Michelle online at insurewithmichelle.com.
Prepare yourselves. Win free gas by playing WJOL's Pro Football Challenge. You predict the most winners each week, you get a $50 Exxon Mobil gas card. You predict the most winners all year, you get 5 nights at Iberostar Toucan in Riviera Maya, Mexico, courtesy of Ample Vacations.
We're going to paradise.
It's WJOL's Pro Football Challenge. Play each week of the season by going to WJOL.com.
It's been 9 long months, but high school football is back.
This is State Farm agent Kevin Malloy, the proud sponsor of the Pigskin Preview Show, wishing all of our local teams the best of luck in 2022. Only time will tell how many champions we'll crown this year. Speaking of championship teams, if you're looking for a new insurance agency, why not consider the Malloy State Farm team, voted the best of Will County 4 years in a row. Give us a call at 815-463-5800 to hear what a championship team sounds like.
Hey, it's Monica from Slocum in the Morning, and I have a great back-to-school deal from my friends at Wilk Real Estate. If you're looking to sell your home, Brent Wilk is offering a flat listing fee of $3,000, regardless of the sale price of your home. List with Brent Wilk of Wilk Real Estate for a flat fee of $3,000. You could save big, but hurry, this offer expires soon. Call Brent Wilk of Wilk Real Estate today at 815-230-5356, 815-230-5356, or go to ChicagoAreaHomeExpert.com.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach Joe Rudiger, Evan Bredesen behind the scenes trying to get us all lined up and hooked up with Jeff Reince. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And again, as we mentioned, and we'll remind you throughout the show, our game of the week is a 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow evening. Wilmington at Reed Custer, Joe. Big game in 2A and 3A and both state-ranked teams. And we are very excited for that one. And guys, we're very excited to bring in our next guest. He is the head coach of the Wilmington Wildcats. He is Jeff Reince. And here's a little sound from the Wilmington practice today.
Oh, Jeff.
The bombs are coming.
Oh,
is that about right, Jeff, for this week?
Hey, good to see you. Good to hear from you guys. I appreciate you having me on, guys.
Well, you know, it is kind of a big game in the area, so we thought, oh, what the heck, we might as well jump on board as well. But I'm going to be honest with you, Coach. We saw this one in the preseason and kind of circled it on the schedule and said, you know, it could get interesting in Week 6. So it certainly has gotten interesting in Week 6.
Yeah, no, it really has. The game has been talked about, I think, a lot in the off season, and then I think the question was that everybody knew that Reed Custer's got a lot of kids coming back, and they got a really good team, and Gavin's done a great job with those guys. You know, for us, we're replacing a lot of guys off last year's state team. Can we maintain that? And, you know, and can we get our younger guys up to speed? And you know, it's kind of been a bumpy road here and there a little bit, but our kids have done a great job. I'm real proud of them with where we're at. And then you know, this places us in a great game with Reed Custer tomorrow. But hey, it's you know, this is why you coach. This is why you play for games like this. And we're looking forward to that challenge tomorrow.
I know, Jeff, you know, you said you had a lot of young guys, and you do have some veterans, you know, coming back from last year's state championship team. You know, how do you kind of mix this? And the kids know it's a big game. Everybody's talking in both towns, and it's that type of game. How do you keep them under control a little bit and focused as far as the game plan is concerned, both offensively and defensively?
No, yeah, I mean, for us, it's you know, when you start looking at the Reed Custer team and what they've done so far, I mean, that gets you pretty focused in a hurry. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, then you're showing the kids what Reed Custer's done, and you know, you keep going over your game plan, and if you start getting away from that mentally, and you start getting into all the emotional part of that. That's one thing we really stress to our kids is, hey, there's going to be a lot of emotion there tomorrow. There's going to be a ton of fans there, but you know, hey, make sure you do your job. You know, make sure that when you're out on the field, you know, you're aware of what's going on, and you know, we got a lot to deal with Reed Custer with you know, a lot of their different players. The McPherson kid at quarterback, and you got Christensen, you got the Foot kid, you got a lot of so. When you start looking at everything that you have to cover defensively and then offensively, what we have to try to do to them defensively, I think that keeps the focus pretty tight. And if you don't have that, I think that's where you start getting in trouble.
How important is the coin toss tomorrow night?
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, two different versions of football tomorrow, right, man?
Yes.
Reed Custer and like I said, Gavin does a great job offensively. Coach Klein does. They got a no-huddle attack, a spread attack that'll be as good as we'll see anybody all year long. And then you throw in the experience of what they have with those kids, and it just makes it that much better. And so, we'll be definitely looking at the coin toss to see what happens, but it is what it is, and then you move on from there. But no doubt we want to run the ball and try to keep the clock in our favor and field position. And no doubt on their end, they want to get the ball and get going. And they've been doing that all year without any problem. And so, like I said, a great challenge for our defense to try to stop that.
Well, and this is one of those games where you talk to your defensive backs and you say, look, there's a reason last summer why we went out to Morris and we went against Bolingbrook and we went against Joliet West and we went against all these other teams that can sling it and got really fast receivers. And you guys have had a taste of this already. I got to imagine, Coach, you kind of, I'm sure, reminded them a little bit about that this week.
Yeah, we always talk about our off season and what we've done, and we start with the process there. That's the magic word with coaches, right? The process, and it's so true. You start in the summer, you see where your kids are at, you put them up against that competition, and then when the season starts, every Saturday morning, us as a coaching staff, okay, where are we at, and where are we going, and how are we going to get there? And so we've done that now, and now, we get this great test here with Reed Custer. But, we've talked about that whole process from summer to now to see where we're at and why we're here and why we're in this type of a game because of the things we've done, but also to cover what Reed Custer's done too.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You've been in these.
Yes.
You've been in many of these. Is there a different approach? Is it the same approach? Is it the same routine? Getting ready for a game, and again, okay, you're going on the road, but okay, everybody hop in 3 trucks and we'll drive you over. I mean, it's not necessarily a big road trip. Does anything change, or do you stick to a same routine every game, every week, every day?
Yeah, no, we stick to the same thing, and that's been fortunate to be in a lot of these games. Whether it be with the conference or playoff wise, whatever it might be. And no, I want to stick to the same thing every week.
Yep.
I want the kids to be in a routine. I want them to know exactly this is what happens during the school day. This is when we have our meetings. Get to the opponent's school, like when we get to Reed Custer tomorrow. Okay, here's our time schedule. Everybody understands that by now. And no, I definitely want a routine. Well, I'll be more looking at our kids emotionally, checking them out to make sure. Again, don't get so emotional that you forget your job. That'd be the thing I'll be stressing tomorrow. But no, I'm definitely a routine guy, and but every big game's a little different. You see how it goes.
Yep.
Momentum's such a big thing in these games. Going back and forth, for us, we want to obviously try to get that momentum early, and I know they're obviously wanting to do the same thing too. But we're going to learn a lot about our team tomorrow. That's the one thing. That these great, when you get a couple undefeateds and you get in this playoff atmosphere, both teams are going to come out of this knowing, okay, well, here's what we did well, here's what we got to work on, and I think that's what you can take from it.
See, this is one of those times where you had those kids, even they weren't starters last year. They went through 5 extra weeks. They went through playoffs. They went through the biggest stage they'll probably ever be on. Up in Northern for a state championship game. Coach said that there's got to be a benefit going into a game like this. There has to be.
Well, I think it's one of the main reasons we're undefeated right now is because of that extra practice that we had. I think it put us a little bit ahead of schedule as we hit the summer this year and going through our weight room workouts and that. And when we got to our preseason and doing, putting our things in, doing our install with offense and defense, I think we're a little bit ahead because of that. And, we opened up with a really tough game with Marengo. Then we've had a tough game with Coal City, who played us great and gave us a great effort. And, you're battle tested. And I think if we don't have all those practices last year, I don't know if we're sitting 5-0 right now. So I think it's a good point that you bring up.
Jeff, we can talk all offense, both offenses of both of these teams, and defensively, I think both teams are very, very solid. And talk a little bit about, I think they're both linebackers, Joey Allgood and Brendan Moran, kind of, their position on the field. It takes 11 guys to play defense, but those two guys have to be pretty important.
No, they are for us. They're both juniors. So Brendan played last year on our team. Our state team started an outside backer, and so we moved him inside this year. And Joey, we were watching him as a sophomore and then working with him, like you guys said, during the playoffs. We thought he could be a pretty good player, and he's done a really good job with that. Both those kids are smart kids. They get us in the right defense with certain checks, this and that. But they're both physical kids, and they can run a little bit. I think that's probably the biggest thing is they do get after the ball well. And so I've been happy with their progress. I like to, like any coach, I like to see it in there. But overall, I'm really happy with both those kids, and we've had some success on defense, and it's been centered around those two quite a bit.
So I wanted to let you know the progress that I've been trying to make on the Jeff Reince statue that'll go next to the Gemini Giant in Wilmington.
There we go.
Believe it or not, Coach, I actually had someone send me a link to a company that makes like the gigantic blow-up size.
You're in trouble.
The gigantic blow-up size, almost like, imagine like a bobblehead, but it's like a blow-up, like a gigantic Halloween ornament that you like, or like Christmas that people put on their front yards. Now, I don't know if I can get it the size I want it to be, but. And it's not going to be cheap, so we're going to have to find some fundraising. Joe, tell Deb to start baking. Okay, we're going to have to fundraise a little bit. But just want to let you know the makeup. And what I will do, I will promise you this. I will let you have final say on the final design.
Okay. You guys. All right, I got a lot to worry about tomorrow. Now, you guys, talking about keeping the focus now. Well, let's stay focused here now.
Well, you know what? If you can't laugh a little bit, hey, you're not living. You're not living.
That's right.
I got you.
All right, my friend. We appreciate it. Best of luck tomorrow night, okay?
Good luck, Jeff. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Hey, sounds good, guys. I appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Bet. All right.
All right, take care.
Jeff Reince, and hopefully soon to be blow up Jeff Reince. Did you hear that, Evan? I gave an update on the Jeff Reince statue. Someone actually sent me a link to this.
I can believe that.
Yep. Said, here you go. This is probably the cheapest way you can get away doing it. I said, okay. How awesome would that be?
Oh, that would be unbelievable.
And you know what? We could reveal it at like halftime, or before, and have it like when the kids come out, we can have it there. Just hit the air thing. If they want to knock into it like a knockdown thing, that's fine. I don't know how durable it's going to be.
No, we would have it at the opposite end where the cannon's at, but opposite the cannon, so the cannon wouldn't blow.
No, we don't want to blow a hole through that. That would be very costly. But
oh gosh,
no, he hates us. He's really mad at us now.
I doubt that. He's a great guy.
I know. We appreciate it. Great to hear from Jeff. And again, what a great game that's going to be tomorrow night. So again, that is the WJOL game of the week. Wilmington at Reed Custer. 7:00 broadcast. Dave Dwyer, Joe, the coach Rudiger on the call. Looking forward to that. We got a minute or so, Joe. Let's go through a few more games in the area. And then once we get through the break, we will take some phone calls around the 6:45 mark just to let you know where we're at. Joliet Central at Plainfield South, Joe. Trying to get to Steelman a win somewhere. Does it happen this week?
I don't think it happens this week against Plainfield South.
Romeoville 0-5 at Joliet West 1-4.
I'm picking the Tigers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. You'll look at what's remaining. 0-5 Romeoville, 2-3 Plainfield East. That might be them in Plainfield South in Week 9. Joe, might be
those are the two big games,
pivotal games for sure.
Yep, those are two big games for West.
Never say never, though.
No,
I think there's a chance they can wind up running the table and maybe getting in there. So,
yes,
we'll see for sure. Plainfield Central 2-3 at Plainfield East 2-3. Joe, this is a big game from a conference standpoint.
This is big, but I'm going to pick Plainfield Central here.
No doubt about it. Oswego East 4-1 at Minooka 4-1. Joe, that Southwest Prairie, buddy, at West.
It's a gauntlet.
It's a gauntlet. And you know what, guys? Here's something to contemplate. More and more people are telling me they don't think Oswego makes the playoffs this year.
You know, you and I talked about that, and I thought Minooka played a great game defensively, and I'm going to pick them at home. I know a lot of people don't like that pick, but I do. I'm picking them. But defensively, they did a great job against Oswego.
Yeah.
And if they can bring that same game.
East is so explosive. Trey Jones at quarterback. You've got some playmakers on East. They do every year, but this year too, they're pretty tough.
I really like. I think it's Christensen, the safety. I really like that young man. He really plays safety very well.
Yep. Oswego, as we mentioned, 2-3 at Plainfield North, 5-0. Plainfield North rolling, Joe. But I tell you what, just like the rest of the conference, there are some big games left on the schedule for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Next week at Minooka, and then they finish week 9 hosting Oswego East. So there's still some games to be played.
Yeah, I'm picking North too, though, at home.
Yeah, definitely. And again, one of these days soon, we're going to get hooked up with Anthony and Bordino. A lot going on with him in Plainfield North. But trust me, folks, we are going to hop all over that the moment Anthony's available. We will have him on the show and talk Plainfield North Tiger.
For sure.
Great story this year. They're actually rolling. Joe, a game that I think is going to be big. I think Homewood Flossmoor 4-1 on the road at Bolingbrook 3-2. Of course, they are playing for the Alec Anderson Trophy, the annual Alec Anderson Trophy. People don't realize it. This is a rivalry game. These two definitely get up for each other. And you have Bolingbrook playing with an interim head coach, as John Ivelo, unfortunately, is still out due to health reasons.
Right. Think there's going to be some points scored here?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, man.
A little bit. All right. Stepping aside, when we come back, we'll take a break. You are listening to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you. Hi, I'm Scott Slocum from Slocum in the Morning, here with a prepare to repair tip from RJ Graham Plumbing. When speaking with contractors or repair people, do you sometimes feel like they're more worried about selling you than trying to solve your issue? The licensed and insured experts at RJ Graham Plumbing start by identifying the problem so they can determine the proper solution, which is getting you results, not trying to sell you unnecessary upgrades. RJ Graham Plumbing offers headache-free warranties on parts and labor, providing an incredible value to their customers. Your satisfaction is their top priority. From friendly service, experienced technicians, fantastic warranties, and their it's fixed or it's free promise, RJ Graham Plumbing is your partner in home repair. This Prepare to Repair Minute is from RJ Graham Plumbing. For more home repair tips and tricks, tune into 1340 WJOL every Monday at noon or head over to preparetorepair.com. RJ Graham Plumbing is available 7 days a week at 708-743-7426 or online at rjgrahamplumbing.com.
Honey, I can't believe you gave me toe fungus.
I was so embarrassed. I gave my wife toe fungus for the third time. Even after all the treatments I tried, all the money I spent, now my family was also dealing with this nasty problem. My doctor then told me that toe fungus is not just a cosmetic problem and that it can spread and get worse. He introduced me to a new and different routine that flushes out even the most difficult cases of fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. After just 3 minutes each day, my toes were looking better and better until the fungus was completely gone. Just imagine finally winning the battle against yellow, crumbly toes and being able to go to the pool or beach in total confidence. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-675-9431. That's 800-675-9431. Try it now risk-free. Call now, 800-675-9431, or visit crystalflush.com.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, the subject off the air, baked goods and pizza.
Yes.
815-254-7300. We'll talk about anything, honestly.
Yeah, you got it.
Vasectomies, whatever.
Steak
We're here for you. A couple of questions. First of all, our good friend Rita's out there, Joe.
Yes.
Watching on the YouTube stream. Hi, Edgy Joe and Evan. Sorry I haven't been texting you. Well, you better provide a handwritten doctor's note for you not being able to watch. You're one of 13 viewers that we have, Rita,
that's for
so
sure.
we count on you.
We have some people.
Gets better and better. Well, that's because Joe's much larger role in the show now. So we
right.
that. She will be at Wilmington, Joe.
Yeah.
So Rita, go look for handsome Coach Joe. Say hello to him.
Yeah.
And then Gunnar Berg with a question: what time will Gavin Johnson be on the podcast? Well, unfortunately, Gunnar, you missed him. We had him right out of the break. By the way, this show is live on the radio, believe it or not. I know, Gunnar, I don't believe it either that they put us on the air. But it actually is live. And then what I do is we can archive it. So we archive it. It's on YouTube. Just go to EDGYTIM channel on YouTube. You can find it there. Go back and play it anytime you want. It's available now. It's available once the show's all done. You can go back watch the whole thing. So we'll have it available then. And I thought, obviously, Gavin always very good with us. So
yes.
And also Gavin or Gunnar, you can hear Jeff Reince on that as well. Both of them were in the first two segments of the show. But now we have open phone lines, 815-254-7300. Also got a question from, let me find it here, from Tim Schott. I wonder if that a relationship to Marge. I'm kidding, Tim. I just had to say that. How accurate is Susie's new prediction with the Richmond, Burton, and SHG in 3A? Well, we're going to have Seuss on 7:25, and I'm sure we'll mention some projection stuff. But honestly, at this time of the year, Tim, it's still a little early, and Seuss will tell you that too. You know, and the numbers always move. And I remember being out at Prairie Ridge when they were playing at Jacobs, and the Prairie Ridge people coming up to the Northwest Herald guys and saying, "Hey, tell Susie to stop projecting us in 5A because it never happens." So what does he do? He hasn't projected in 5A. So, you know, and again, Steve is the best at what he does and puts everything into it. But Tim, it's early, especially with it's Sacred Heart as well in 3A. It's early, but I've heard that though. That one's been thrown around. Sacred Heart going to 3A, Morris dropping down to 4A, which would make life interesting for one Joliet Catholic Academy in 4A. That could be a round 2, maybe. Yeah, that'd be fun.
2 or 3, yeah.
815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. Your thoughts, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Your game? Minooka, I believe. Friday? Where were you last Friday?
Oh, yeah, Minooka against Oswego. And
thoughts?
Like I said, I was very impressed offensively. And defensively for Minooka, I thought they kind of took it to Oswego. Oswego, tried they couldn't run too well against Minooka. They tried passing the ball, but pass defense I thought was very good, and just enough offense to a safety was the first points. And then I can't remember the young man who ran the kickoff back to like the 10-yard line. And then 2 plays later, they punched it in, and it's 8-0.
Yep.
8-9. So Minooka kind of took control of the game after that, but a very well played game by Minooka.
Again, it'll be interesting. The remaining schedule, not easy at all for the Minooka Indians. I just had it here. Yeah, they Oswego East at home this week. Plainfield North 5-0 at home next week. At Yorkville and at West Aurora. So those next 3 weeks are
games.
Going to be monsters.
A gauntlet, yes.
For your
got to stay healthy in those to
no
go
doubt
through
about
that.
it. Again, 815-254-7300. We have some open lines. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Lincoln Way East at Sandburg. We talked about this game in the pre-show with Evan. I don't know. I think East will be ready for it, but don't overlook Sandburg just yet.
No, I think, as you mentioned earlier in the year when they were 0-4, 0-2, 0-3, a lot of injuries, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe they're getting some of those guys back. But Lincoln Way East, Rob is not going to let his boys overlook this 1-4 team.
Talk about 2 big games on a lot of levels. The last 2 here, Joe. Lockport 3-2 at Lincoln Way West 3-2. That's a big game.
That's huge because, again, as we talked about, Lockport after this game has to play Bolingbrook, Lincoln Way East, and Andrew. So this is a huge game, for them. With Lincoln Way West, they play Lincoln Way Central away. They play Andrew away.
Andrew and HF. So there's no gimmies for either side.
No.
And the other game, real quickly, Lincoln Way Central on the road at Bradley. And I'm going to say it again. Playing at Bradley is difficult. It is a very good home field advantage for the Boilermakers. They seem to be a different team when they play at home. Yes. They get up for playing at home.
Yes.
Very difficult task for Lincoln Way Central, Joe.
Yes, it is.
But it's almost a must-win for the Knights at this point.
Yes. Again, they played Lincoln Way West and the Brook, and then Sandburg. You never know what the record for Sandburg is going to be in week 9.
Right. So you just don't know. There's, again, no gimme there whatsoever. All right, out to the phones. Bob, are you with us? Hello, Bob.
Guys. How's it going?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Fine.
Your thoughts from JCA Crete?
Crete? First of all, I thought they started out slow.
Yeah, for sure.
Then we had 2 plays that should never happen. I mean, we had that down to go about less than a half of football, and the referee moved the ball back about 1.5 yards.
Okay.
And then we had this one other play that the guy blitzed, and our guy was back in the shotgun, and he's already there before the ball even gets there.
Yeah, was that the 4th down?
The 4th down was about half of those of football, but he moved the ball back 1.5 yards.
Yeah. Well, welcome to being on the road, Joe or Bob.
Yes.
I know, but I mean, we started out slow, so I thought we dug ourselves a hole.
Yeah. Here's a question. I ran this by Joe, and no one's really given me an answer because I've tried to think back and remember. TJ Slogger. Who's your quarterback? Your left-handed quarterback, TJ?
Yeah, TJ Slogger, I think it is. Yeah, he's going
Slogger, yes.
Is he the best throwing quarterback in a while for JCA? More of a pure pocket guy? Who could compare?
Oh, yeah, Romo, John, Piazza. We had some good quarterbacks.
Okay.
Romo, yeah.
More of a.
But those guys, Bob, are back in the day.
Right, Bob. I'm talking about within recent memory. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback,
Very
but
good.
I mean, we just started out slow that night. Maybe they shouldn't have looked at the scoreboard after the first game. That was a really bad score.
What did you think of the 2 Crete wide receivers?
Oh, I thought they were good.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a problem stopping that,
Yep.
but they also had a little problem trying to stop our running game all the time. So it kind of equaled itself out.
Yeah, they're going to be a very tough team in 6A. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
I think so too.
Yep, no doubt. Yep. Heading out to Burbank tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Do you cook or do you just go to the game?
I just go to the game.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest with you. It's probably one of the more depressing areas to see a high school football game. I'm just being honest. In Lawrence,
to the north, yeah, there's nothing.
There's nothing around there.
Yep.
It's like a factory behind you,
Yes.
and yeah, it's now. Don't get me wrong. It's a really nice facility. St. Lawrence does a great job.
The baseball facility is nice too.
But it ain't real
Well,
fancy, Joe.
Like this last weekend, if you went out, they wouldn't let you back in.
Yeah.
Why
That's kind
would
of
you even forward that stuff.
that's kind of standard everywhere now. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
Bob. It's try and
I
crowd
don't know,
control.
the last time we played Myron Carmel, every time you went out, they wanted to charge you $5 to get back in.
Yeah. Well,
That's made me stop cooking on the road.
big spender like you've got it. You know you
Oh,
do.
yeah.
We'll take it from you.
Thank
All
you.
right, Bob. We appreciate it, my
Yes.
friend.
All right, buddy.
Have a
Take
good
care,
night.
Bob.
All right, Bob drops off. We appreciate Bob checking in. It is now officially
Official show.
an
Yes.
official
yes.
show. Evan,
John Rudiger, another lefty.
there you go.
That's probably
Yeah.
because he was another one
Yeah.
he could throw pretty well.
And I wasn't throwing it out there to like, okay, well, all these guys from the past. Believe me, I know the history, but I'm just saying from more of a kind of a standard, more
He could
pocket
run
guy.
though too. I mean,
Oh
he
no,
was-
TJ can run too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
he's
true.
he's mobile, but I just like the way, very confident in the pocket, doesn't panic, stays in there, feels pressure, can feel it coming, know when to escape and get out. So, all right, we're gonna wrap it up for hour number 1. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. 7:00 hour. We'll hear from Alan Thorson from Morris, preview their game. Steve Susi will also join us as well. This is the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Will be back after ABC News.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
Are you 65 years old or older and looking for additional coverage beyond what Medicare Part A and B covers? New Medical Advantage plans are available. You may be able to get additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, prescription drugs, and possibly $0 monthly premiums. You don't get these benefits automatically. Time is limited. Call the Medicare Advantage helpline now for a free, no-cost, no-obligation consultation at 855-566-1990. That's 855-566-1990. We've helped thousands of people just like you. When you call, we'll speak to a licensed agent who will help you step by step to find the best coverage in your area. You may be eligible for free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, and free prescription drug delivery. You may be eligible for $0 premiums, $0 deductibles, and no copays. Get the benefits that you deserve. Don't miss out. Call now for a free consultation. 855-566-1990. 855-566-1990. That's 855-566-1990.
Your home for Will County's news, talk, and sports. We're 1340 WJOL.
The nights are getting longer and cooler, telling us that change is on the way. But if nothing is changing with the dreary lighting in your home, get to Light Source Lighting today, and we'll keep those rooms warm and inviting in any season. You won't believe the difference or the possibilities with Quoizel Lighting. Come see our Quoizel collection, touch them, use them, see them in comparison to other brands, and imagine them in your home. And we guarantee you, your design vision will come clear. If you've shopped for lighting at a big box store, you've been denied the truly unique experience our designers and showrooms can provide. Have some fun with new stunning designs as well as classic choices from Quoizel. They're here today and every day. Browse Light Source Lighting with a friend. Come on your lunch hour or after work. Visit our 2 convenient locations in Plainfield and Plano. And check out lightsourcelighting.com before your shopping visit.
Official rules for 1340 WJOL. No purchases necessary. All contestants must be 18 years of age or older to participate unless specified in contest rules. An individual may win an ongoing contest every 30 days per household from WJOL in Crest Hill. All state, local, and federal and other taxes or other fees for prizes awarded are the sole responsibility of the winner. Prizes valued over $500 will be issued an IRS Form 1099 to report their winnings. All prizes are awarded as is. All entrants and winners agree that the station, Alpha Media LLC, and their affiliates shall have no liability and should be held blameless for any injury, misfortune, or damage to either persons or property insured by entry, participating, participating in, winning, or losing any contest by use or non-use of any prize received. All entrants and winners agree the station may broadcast or publish their name, city of residence, photo, videotape, film, or any other likeness, including their voice, recorded or live, for any reason the station deems necessary without compensation. The radio station reserves the right to change the rules for any contest at any time without notice and limit the amount of times an individual may enter a contest or drawing. The radio station will not be held responsible for busy lines, bad connections, disconnections, computer malfunctions, lost, late, or misdirected email, faxes, or any other circumstances. Get a full list of contest rules at WJOL.com.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
From ABC News, I'm Mark Remillard. Now is the time to get ready. That from South Carolina's Governor Henry McMaster, as Hurricane Ian is expected to make landfall near Charleston tomorrow.
If you have to go to the store, if you're running out of something, go ahead and do it while we have time before it starts raining real hard. Don't drive on roads. If you can't see the pavement, don't drive on the road.
Ian was briefly a tropical storm, but has again strengthened into a hurricane as it's once again over warm waters off Florida's Atlantic coast. In the storm's wake, a trail of destruction slicing through the Florida peninsula. Florida's governor says there are 2.6 million customers without power right now.
20,000 Florida power and light crews racing to restore power across this state. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
The impacts of this storm are historic, and the damage that was done has been historic.
President Biden in touch with Governor DeSantis. The president speaking of the enormous human toll and the real fear that that toll could rise dramatically.
This could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're hearing early reports of what may be substantial loss of life.
That's ABC's David Muir reporting from Florida. At least 9 people have been confirmed so far, but that number expected to rise. Now that the U.S. Senate has approved a government spending bill, the upper chamber will be taking a month and a half off. That leaves a lot of work for when senators return after the election.
Senate members are now free to campaign for re-election. No work scheduled till after November 14th. But when the lame duck session returns, it'll have a long to-do list, including passing the Defense Authorization Act, another government funding bill, confirming Biden nominees, and maybe taking up the same-sex marriage protection bill.
That's ABC's Andy Field. Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, spending 4 hours before the House January 6th committee today. You're listening to ABC News.
Honey, I can't believe you gave me toe fungus.
I was so embarrassed. I gave my wife toe fungus for the 3rd time. Even after all the treatments I tried, all the money I spent, now my family was also dealing with this nasty problem. My doctor then told me that toe fungus is not just a cosmetic problem and that it can spread and get worse. He introduced me to a new and different routine that flushes out even the most difficult cases of fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. After just 3 minutes each day, my toes were looking better and better until the fungus was completely gone. Just imagine finally winning the battle against yellow, crumbly toes and being able to go to the pool or beach in total confidence. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Try it now risk-free. Call now, 800-764-9219, or visit crystalflush.com.
After consulting with state and local officials, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers say they'll be moving forward with hosting Sunday's game against the Chiefs. ESPN senior NFL insider Adam Schefter.
When it surveyed the damage, when it looked at the situation, when it assessed it in whole, it determined that it wouldn't be diverting enough resources away from the city, that the league felt like it could pull off this game on Sunday night.
Bucs QB Tom Brady says he hopes it'll give some people something to cheer about. And before Ian hit Florida, it struck Cuba, where power restorations continue, and now authorities are trying to assess the total amount of damage to the nation's valuable tobacco crop. Some USPS employees are among 9 people charged in a New York fraud case.
The 3 postal workers were charged with conspiring with others to steal credit cards from the mail, use them in high-end stores, then sell what they purchased online. It was part of what federal prosecutors called a years-long scheme that took advantage of the public trust in the Postal Service. The indictment said the postal workers siphoned the credit cards prior to delivery to customers. Others then activated the cards with stolen personal information and then went shopping at Chanel, Fendi, Hermes, Dior. More than $1 million worth of merchandise was sold on the website Luxury Snob. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Hundreds of royal fans lining up outside Windsor Castle for the chance to pay their final respects to Queen Elizabeth II. The chapel where she's buried opened to the public for the first time since her death. This is ABC News.
Former President Trump just wrote on Truth Social that Dick Morris's new bestseller, The Return, is a great book and urges you to get it. The Return reveals that big media and the deep state have formed an alliance to stop Trump. An Amazon bestseller. Get Dick Morris's The Return or see the free offer from Newsmax and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go to thereturn911.com. Get it today.
I'm Mark Remillard, ABC News.
Hi, I'm Scott Slocum from Slocum in the Morning, here with a prepare to repair tip from RJ Graham Plumbing. When speaking with contractors or repair people, do you sometimes feel like they're more worried about selling you than trying to solve your issue? The licensed and insured experts at RJ Graham Plumbing start by identifying the problem so they can determine the proper solution, which is getting you results, not trying to sell you unnecessary upgrades. RJ Graham Plumbing offers headache-free warranties on parts and labor, providing an incredible value to their customers. Your satisfaction is their top priority. From friendly service, experienced technicians, fantastic warranties, and their it's fixed or it's free promise, RJ Graham Plumbing is your partner in home repair. This Prepare to Repair Minute is from RJ Graham Plumbing. For more home repair tips and tricks, tune into 1340 WJOL every Monday at noon or head over to preparetorepair.com. RJ Graham Plumbing is available 7 days a week at 708-743-7426 or online at rjgrahamplumbing.com.
It's been 9 long months, but high school football is back. This is State Farm agent Kevin Malloy, the proud sponsor of the Pigskin Preview Show, wishing all of our local teams the best of luck in 2022. Only time will tell how many champions we'll crown this year. Speaking of championship teams, if you're looking for a new insurance agency, why not consider the Malloy State Farm team? Voted the best of Will County 4 years in a row. Give us a call at 815-463-5800 to hear what a championship team sounds like.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV,
you can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is hour number 2 of your gosh darn favorite prep high school football show, Pigskin Preview, here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. Joe, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by our State Farm agents extraordinaire, State Farm agent Kevin Malloy in New Lenox, and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
WJOL Game of the Week. Friday Night Lights kicks off at 6:05 with Evan Bredesen, followed by Wilmington at Reed Custer. That game set for a 7 p.m. kickoff. I think Reed Custer's going to do something a little special tomorrow night. What do you think? I bet they are. They got that Gridiron Club, Joe. We got to go party. We got to go party with those guys because they're our kind of
That's
people.
why I'm going to try to get down there early. And
there are our kind of people.
Yes,
I bet they got something cooking tomorrow night. There's no doubt. So that is the game of the week. Got some comments. Hello to everybody watching on YouTube. We appreciate it. We're streamed live every week, by the way, on YouTube. You can find it off my website. You can find it off of EDGYTIM channel. Just search that on YouTube, and voila, you'll be watching. Our good friend Rita. Want to know if Joe made the 50th reunion, Joe? Rita, Joe did not because he would have to hire security, and it's kind of a big hassle. So
yeah.
Joe's very, very
Rita,
popular.
unfortunately, no, I didn't make it either.
Very popular.
Oh, yeah, very popular.
And then Chris asked us, and again, I know we have Ellen Thorson waiting, so we don't want to. Is this a bot, maybe, Joe? Look at the address that Chris sent this from. This has to be a computer-generated robot that asked us this question, right?
I can't even read it.
Chris Wubel, a bunch of letters and numbers.
Rubik.
Yeah. So, Joe Lamont has a chance at state. What do you think?
Well, they are a very good team, but
save that. We'll get into it a little bit later.
We'll get into that, Chris.
We need to talk to Alan Thorson from Morris, who joins us. And Joe, the Morris football team, huge game.
Yes.
I say one of the top games in the state of Illinois tomorrow. I'll be honest with you. Coach, welcome aboard.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Okay. Is this a home number?
Mine? This would be my cell.
Wow. Who's your cell provider?
You're very clear.
It's Verizon.
Wow. You must is your house do you own a tower outside your house?
No, I do not.
How clear, Joe, is this call?
It is clear, very clear.
Wow, there's an
Well, we
ad
thought it
for
was a
there's an
landline
ad
now.
for Verizon right there.
Yes.
Wow.
Just a perk of living in Morris.
Outstanding. Hey, congratulations so far. Again, I know you had high expectations for this team. I think we all did. They have certainly met that so far. But boy, you talk about a whole different challenge. You got a big challenge tomorrow night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's been a great start to the season. I'm really very thrilled with how we've been playing and how we've started. But I mean, you want to test. We're obviously we've got a big one coming tomorrow on a number of levels. Good competition, great coaching staff. I mean, those guys do an excellent job up there, and good hard kids, program, and they're going to play tough football. And then just to add to it, 2-hour plus bus ride. So I mean, we're checking all the boxes of things that could be distractions, but I think so far the way our kids have handled everything this year, and we've had a long bus ride to Antioch. We played some good teams, Canelan, and some other good programs, but this will be our toughest test to date, and we're looking forward to it. It's a good opportunity to kind of find out really what we are.
Yeah, and Joe can tell you firsthand it's a great atmosphere up in
Yes,
Richmond
it is.
Burton. Have you guys looked into maybe a timeshare up that way for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're already at Antioch. We got Richmond Burton, and then we'll turn right around and go to Woodstock. So, I mean, we at this point, we might as well just get a hotel or something. But it's the charter buses are making some good money off of us this year. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Joe?
And you talk about the trip tomorrow. I mean, last year was a Saturday afternoon game, I think at 1:00, and it just seems like you keep going and going and going and going, and then finally it's right there. But it's it is definitely going to be a long road trip for you guys. I watch you guys on film a little bit, and I'm impressed. I'm going to go to the defensive side of the ball here. I'm impressed with Sam Rudiger and Luke Brown, your linebackers. Talk about them a little bit.
Yeah, both of them are returning starters, along with Ashton Yard. That's our main running back as well. But Sam, we've had some really good linebackers since I've been here, but Sam's by far one of the most athletic kids. I mean, he's got good size to him. He's got good speed, but just his athleticism and just quickness, that first step that he has. I mean, he really makes his reads quick. And I mean, last week, I think it was 12 tackles against LaSalle Peru, had a sack. I mean, you look at his stat line week after week, and I mean, it's 10 plus tackles. I think he's blocked 2 punts on the season, had a defensive touchdown. So, I mean, he's really the leader on our defense. He kind of makes everything happen. And Luke Brown's another one. He's senior player for us. And again, just, smart kid, just, your typical tough Morris kid that just grows up wanting to play Morris football. And now that he's getting his chance, he's making the most of it. And he really does a good job for us. So, I mean, our linebackers have really done a good job, but our entire defense, honestly, as a whole, has been really tough this year. They've played really good football for us, kept us, kept the teams out of the end zone a lot. And really, I think we've given up, I don't know the exact number, maybe 55 points or something like that. But
exactly.
Probably 2 of those, I think, have been more of when our backups have been in. So, I mean, our starting defense has probably only given up about 30-some points on the year. So, we keep doing that, we're going to win a lot of games.
I think what gets lost in the mix sometimes with Richmond Burton, what they do offensively is obviously they're fullback oriented. They, once again, we talked about it, Joe and I did before we had you on. It's like plug and play at Richmond. They just go find another 6'1", 225-pound fullback that just runs over everything in its way. But they've shown more of a propensity for the forward pass this year, friend.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's probably, I think, what makes them even more dangerous is, I mean, you watch them on film and you can see right away they run the ball. They want to run the ball, and they're good at it. But you get them in situations where they need to pass, or even those second and shorts, whatever, where they're going to try to surprise you, and they're very efficient in doing that. And have a big tight end they like to throw to, and a couple receivers that do it that can get open and make plays. So I mean, it's not just load the box this week and stop the run. I mean, we've got to be disciplined, and our DBs have to do a good job. And fortunately, I think the last 2 weeks we've seen similar offenses, and obviously not as good as Richmond Burton, but I think it's been a good kind of tune-up the last 2 weeks. Woodstock North, and then obviously LaSalle Peru runs a very similar offense as well. So I think that's kind of helped prep us for this week. But obviously this will be a whole different animal.
You got to feel good about the way the schedule ends as well. I mean, it's really just solid from here on out to really get you ready for that next step in the postseason. Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I think this is a great game for us, and perfect timing, to be honest. I mean, just we're sitting at 5-0. Like I said, I really like how we're playing, but we if we want to go farther, and hopefully play into Thanksgiving weekend, we need these tests early. You got to find out a lot about yourself. I think we had a good test early with Canelan, and we just started that game out horrendous, but really I loved how we played in the second half. So to be able to get that early test, and then now this one, and then we'll have a couple conference games that'll lead us up into hopefully what's going to be for the conference championship at Sycamore. So I mean that's always a tough place to play, and I mean it's really become probably our biggest rival over the last 5 conference changes we've made. So at this point, I mean, Sycamore has really been that team that we've competed the most with. So, that'll be a great week 9 that'll lead us into the playoffs. But obviously we're not thinking about any of those, because this is a big one for us tomorrow. And the best part this year, that trip to Sycamore is going to be like a walk in the park after this year.
Yeah, we'll be on yellow buses, so it probably won't be comfortable, but yeah.
Unbelievable. As far as the team, and obviously you're in the playoffs, you can't avoid that as a coach. You've got to celebrate the fact that you got the 5-0 and you're playoff eligible and all that good stuff. We talk all the time about scouting and preparing. Is it all changed because of Huddle? I mean, where you would send guys out week, Dan Darlington would have guys out in week 2 scouting, but does that change, or are you still sending people out maybe a week or 2 in advance?
We don't send too many people out anymore just because of Huddle. It's almost funny you asked that. I was just talking to some of our younger freshman coaches just how things have changed.
Those poor guys.
Well, they don't have a clue. I mean, anymore with the going and trading tape. I remember my first year driving to Wilmington to meet Bishop Mack for a playoff game, meeting him at the McDonald's to trade film, and doing those Saturday scouting trips, or if we weren't playing we played a Friday night. And it's completely changed the game. Our conference, the way it works, we get every film. So when I play Sycamore, I'll have 8 films of them. And that's almost overkill. Sometimes it's good and bad, because then you're going to sit there and watch 8 films and drive yourself nuts. But it's, Huddles, I wish I invented it, because it's amazing what they can do between the Huddle cam and our iPads on the sideline and scouting. But we don't go, we'll start to look a little bit, but and maybe, obviously look at Susie's projections and stuff like that as it gets closer, but it's so early right now that it's, in my opinion, it's not even worth it right now. So, once we get maybe to week 8, we'll start kind of looking at that and getting an idea of who we might play. But right now we're just obviously worried about Richmond Burton.
How happy are you on Mr. Button's progress at quarterback, and where does he need to take it next?
Oh, you know what? If that was our biggest question mark coming in, was obviously replacing an all-state quarterback. Carter has been outstanding for us. I mean, he's really just taken hold of that quarterback position and that leadership role in our offense. We ask a lot out of him. We do RPO. We give him a lot of zone read plays where he's got the option to pull, and he's really done an excellent job. And then when we have asked him to throw, I mean, he's probably, I think, somewhere around 75% completion percentage, 8 touchdowns on the 8 or 9, or somewhere around there. And I mean, really just doing a great job. And the thing that's so impressive for a junior, he got a little time last year in the playoffs and some of the games that we had some blowouts, but to really be a first-year starter and just be as composed as he is. I mean, he does not get rattled. I mean, it was like I said. I go back to the Keeneland game. We had a snap over our head, and we ended up having a fumble the first series. Things that we haven't done all year, and we've only had 2 turnovers all season. And for him to just keep his composure and came back to the sideline, and I mean, he was the most vocal. Guys, we're fine. We've got this, and you know, that it just showed a lot of maturity for a junior, and it just shows. And I think our offense really feeds off of him. And obviously, when you've got a really good offensive line and some really good weapons around you, that helps as well too.
All right, my friend. Well, good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, good
Enjoy
luck,
the ride, and hopefully you'll have a nice short trip back with a win. So good luck.
That's the plan. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Alan Thorson joining us from an incredibly clear cell phone line. Unbelievable.
That was nice.
Well, that's a nice ad for Verizon right there. Wow. Hey, Nate Turner's out there. Hello, Nate. Hey, Nate. Glad to see you. Yes, like the hat game tonight. The only White Sox player I'll recognize these days is Jose Abreu, who unfortunately might be wrapping up his White Sox career. And Tim Schott, by the way, is not related to Mars Schott. He just wanted to make that clear. So, Evan, I know you were wondering. Oh, also related to Jack McPherson.
Jake McPherson.
It's family, Joe. I'm telling you, there's a lot of family going down with this game.
Yes, yeah.
Between Braidwood and Reed Custer and Wilmington, there's a lot of back and forth. So it will be a ball game for sure. Evan?
That documentary is coming, right? The Mars Shot documentary.
It is, I believe.
Someone's going to do that.
No, there is something.
Is there something cooking?
It's got something
I
going.
feel like there's just too much there to not tell that story, because that's a story you'll tell future generations.
Have you guys seen the Nolan Ryan documentary?
No.
On Netflix. Go watch it. Very good. Very good. Just him
talk about
his career, talks about the fight, and talks about the whole thing with Ventura. Very, very well done. Yes, Joe.
I met him.
Did you really?
Nolan Ryan.
Big dude, right?
His legs are.
Yeah.
I thought I had big legs. No.
Yeah.
And what a very, very nice guy.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, the Seuss one cometh. Steve Susi, the projectionist extraordinaire from Friday Night Drive, will join us. You are listening to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports.
If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in taxes, please listen to this important message. The IRS is aggressively hiring and quickly ramping up their tax collection team. Act now and protect yourself with a call to Tax Alliance. Don't let the money you owe the IRS keep you up at night and ruin your life. You may be surprised at how much having Tax Alliance on your side can protect you from the IRS collections and help you save thousands on what you owe. Here's what a customer had to say.
Tax Alliance did an amazing job helping me through a quite difficult situation, saving me tens and thousands of dollars that I would have been paying for many years to come.
Tax Alliance is rated A+ with a Better Business Bureau with no consumer complaints. If you owe the IRS at least $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled returns, or have a payment plan and are still frustrated, call Tax Alliance now for a free consultation. 800-624-9275. 800-624-9275. That's 800-624-9275.
Tax Alliance, your tax resolution solution.
Are you dealing with back taxes? Are you worried about what might happen if and when you do pay those taxes? Call Greg Severson at Cordano Severson and Associates. Greg has worked with many businesses in getting out of tricky tax situations. He has worked with the IRS for many years and with many different clients. He knows the players and how to navigate the system so that your business will get the best solution for your situation. So whether you're struggling to meet the next tax deadline or dealing with overdue or late tax payments, it's time to call Greg Severson. Greg will help your business now, but also help you set up a year-round tax plan, saving you this hassle year after year. He'll give you a free half-hour consultation to get started and give your business the attention it deserves. Call the firm that has provided quality tax advice for almost 50 years right here in the Will County area. Cordano Severson and Associates, a firm you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance.
This is Will County Executive Jennifer Bertino Tarrant. If you need non-emergency help, call 211. The 211 helpline makes a difference in the lives of people every day. Do you need help paying your utility bill, finding housing, Buying food? Do you need assistance navigating veteran services or accessing jobs? Call 211 today or text 898-211 to speak to a specialist. They will make sure you have a plan and put you in touch with the right resources. Call or text today. Help is available in 180 languages, 24/7, 365 days a year. 211 is provided by the United Way of Will County in partnership with Will County government. Call 211. You are not alone.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell and Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell and Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell and Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Chicagoland area attorneys. 1 Lincoln Center, 1AW140 Butterfield Road, 920 Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois, 60181. CordellCordell.com.
High school football on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the Coach Joe Rudiger, Evan Bredesen. And ladies and gentlemen, he come uponeth. The Seuss.
The guru.
Steve Susi, playoff projectionist, guru of Friday Night Drive. And, well, we're going to spend the next 15 minutes or so picking apart every projection he's made and mock and make fun of him. No, we're not. But one thing I know we're not going to talk about, Joe, we're not going to talk about baseball.
No, we're not.
Because baseball is dead in our world.
It's over.
Welcome, Seuss.
What's baseball?
Exactly. I have no idea what they're talking about. None. Absolutely none. So here's my overall observation so far, and I'm wondering if it's in line with yours. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. Especially in the smaller classes, it's been a lot of chalk so far. There have not been a lot of shakeup, shall we say, like from 4A and below.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The one thing that I think is kind of, I guess, changing a lot of that in some respects is
8-man.
8-man has something to do with it. Most of the teams that are making that transition are teams that weren't having a lot of success at the 11-man level. So what you're starting to see now, though, is that you're starting to see some of these, small school conferences where you're used to kind of having, 3 or 4 teams over 2 divisions that stand out. Right. Well, now they're in one division, and there's not enough food in the trough, if you know what I'm saying, yep. Because those teams have left to go to 8-man. So usually you go into a lot of seasons and you think, well, there's 2 or 3 teams on my schedule that I think I'm going to be, in pretty good shape against. Well, those 2, 3 teams aren't on your schedule anymore, and they're replaced with teams that make the playoffs every year. So that's been kind of a tricky little adjustment that 1A, 2A, and to a much lesser respect, 3A schools have been having to kind of adjust to over the past few years.
And then in the larger classes, 8A, 7A, I said this early and I'm sticking with it. There's been a lot of good football this year. And I think that, as you mentioned with the conferences, and there's a couple right off the top of my head. Everyone talks about the Duquesne's one of those. I think the West Suburban Silver's another one of those. There's 4 or 5 teams that could wind up winning that conference, and there's going to be a team or two. It's going to be a loaded 4 and 5 that in most years it wouldn't get in, but maybe this year is the year they get in.
It is. I think the one thing that is really kind of standing out to me this year, I think more so than anything, is, we're heading into week 6, And if I were to sit down and make a list for you of really good football teams that have 2 and maybe 3 losses.
Yeah, there's quite a bit.
There'd be some really good teams on there.
Yep.
And we're only heading into week 6. We've still got 4 more weeks of regular season football to go, and that list of teams with 2 and 3 losses right now has some really heavy hitters on it. And the odds are they're probably not going to stay at 2 or 3 losses. They might add another 1 or another 2. And that's where we're going to get into a real interesting situation. And I mean, I know we didn't end up having it happen last year, but I think we've kind of almost reached the brink now where we're going to have probably a small handful of 4 or 5 teams.
Yep.
Seuss, we've had, some shifts in the universe this week. We've heard about maybe Sacred Heart Griffins going down to 3A with Richmond Burton. I think you're pretty solid also too with Morris in 4A, and that would be an interesting matchup against Joliet Catholic. And I was over at Lamont to see the boys this week, and they're looking at that bracket of playing East St. Louis again.
Yeah, when you look at 6A, that's the start. I mean, it's just one of those situations where the geography of the state kind of has a congestion of teams that, when you look at them on the map, you would say, hey, that's a team that's got to be in the North bracket. But when you look at 6A, you've got a lot of teams in the city of Chicago. You've got a cluster of teams up by the Illinois-Wisconsin border that are always in the 6A mix. So you run out of 16 spots pretty quick. So that ends up getting you to Lamont. And then, the unfortunate situation for Lamont in terms of their bracket and dealing with East St. Louis is, typically you'd say, hey, East St. Louis is arguably and probably the best team in 6A. Why is there a 4 or a 5 by their name in regards to seed?
Yep.
They obviously go out and play that, play some nationally ranked opponents, take a loss or 2, and in the seeding system, they don't get credit for playing a nationally ranked opponent unless they beat them. So they end up being seeded lower than they obviously probably should be. And it usually means that a team like Lamont, who looks like, let's not put the cart in front of the horse, looks like they're probably going to be able to run the table on their schedule, be 9-0, have a 1 or maybe a 2 seed in that bracket. But then you're looking at it once again, another scenario just like last year, where East St. Louis is looking like they're probably going to be like a 4 or 5. So instead of getting them in a potential semifinal matchup, you might get them as early as the second round.
Yep, right.
And that's can be obviously really frustrating.
So I guess the most important question I have for you is, are you glad to have geographics back, or are you not glad to have geographics back this year?
Oh, I don't like. I've never been on the geographic train. I've never been there. I've always wanted 1 to 32 for everybody.
Yep.
And there's some classifications. I can think of 5 right now where some of these matchups in 1 to 16 are ridiculous.
Right.
If we're worried about travel, 1 to 16 isn't fixing it either. I think there was one last week that I had like Mount Vernon coming up to the south suburbs or something along those lines.
Well, gas is cheaper down south, so a little cheaper for them too. So they can fill up down there and, hopefully to get by on fumes when they come back home.
Well, it's one of those things too. And I look at the 1 to 16s obviously a lot, and it feels like that one's heavier than the other one. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I know, me neither.
From a competitive standpoint. I know the numbers bear out that it's usually the North bracket that dominates in most of those situations. And that's true. But every once in a while, you just get a bracket that you look at it and you're like, this one's much deeper than the other one. Yep. And we're playing for the same thing here. So I'm like, why? I was really upset with it. It's from a logistical situation too, because it's just easier. Like I could put it together much faster. I was joking around with somebody before about it. I'm like, if we still had 1 to 32 in the small classes, I could literally make live updates based on the results that were coming in on Friday night. I could make the adjustments that quickly, but if you have to map everything, it's not possible to do that. Every change leads to a 15-minute adjustment. So I don't like the maps. I just think we'd ultimately get better state championship games if we didn't use them.
I think we'll get there.
That's
I really
what
do.
I'm most interested in.
I think we'll get there. I think after this year, we'll hopefully get there starting next year. Every year, there's a handful of conferences that just annoy you, and there's a handful of conferences that just annoy me every year. Excluding the Chicago Public League, who are the conferences that are kind of annoying you this year?
Well, I mean, you kind of put it out there for me a little while ago. The Duquesne is definitely one of them. I mean, I feel like there are 6 really viable teams in that league right now that are playoff teams, and the math probably isn't going to let that happen.
Yep.
There's going to be at least one team I think that's going to be left out in the cold, possibly 2. And you go around, you find them. There are some that and not to be callous to these teams, there are some that I'm not sure they deserve one bid, and there are some that I think every team in the league deserves a bid. So it's kind of a tricky situation sometimes. I know everybody gets their opportunities and everybody has different levels of play, but I think, unfortunately, I fear that we're going to have quite a few pretty lopsided first-round matchups this year with some teams that clearly belong and some teams that don't, and then some of the teams that are left out of this mix that played 3, 4, 5 state-ranked teams during the year that could legitimately do some damage if given the opportunity. So I don't know what the answer is here. I mean, I don't know if I'm necessarily an advocate for letting everyone in either, but sometimes it's just really unfortunate how it breaks down.
Seuss, a team in our area, Providence, who's been, again, as long as I can remember, 5, 6, maybe 7A. How solid are they in 4A in your projection?
Well, the 4A, 5A line is really, it's layered in why it's doing what it's doing. A lot of people don't realize this because obviously they don't study school enrollments like this big giant nerd you got right here. But there's only about 20 schools in the entire state of Illinois that play football that have enrollments between 700 and 900. So what's happening is a lot of those schools are not having very strong years this year. So that's why that number is jumping so wildly. That's why you're seeing all these teams that are usually in 5A sliding down to 4 because there are vacancies in the 4A bracket that have to be filled. So I would say Providence is reasonably solid in staying where they're at right now. I would put Morris, obviously, almost. I'm getting close to saying they're almost guaranteed to end up there. But Providence is pretty close to that bubble, so it could shift one way or another. It's a fascinating schedule for Providence, and watching what they're doing this year, it feels like every week I'm thinking in the back of my mind, this is a must win. They got to have this one.
Yep.
It feels like that every single week, and there's a handful of teams that I feel like that every week. Most of them are in the Catholic League because if you look at what's going on there, there's a mess of teams right now sitting with 2 and 3 losses, and almost every one of those teams has just an absolute gauntlet to run to the end of the season. So there's going to be some very deserving schools that are left out of the playoffs. But if we do have 4 and 5 teams, those are the ones that are going to be best positioned because they're going to have Providence being one of them. If they end up getting to 4 and 5 and we have 4 and 5 teams in, Providence would be one of the first teams that would get that invitation.
Real quickly, before we let you go, pal, who is the most bubbliest team in the state of Illinois right now?
Oh boy, that I could make you a list. There are a lot of them. Every week it seems like we have a couple of games that could go either way in regards to who gets in and who gets out. So I don't know if I can answer that right now. It's
Howard,
tricky.
just step up.
Yeah. It's tricky. I mean, I'll put it on a town right now. How about that for you?
Telling you. Went to work with the guys in the Northwest Herald and got soft on us. What happened to you?
Here's the thing. Exclude Plainfield North for the conversation. You sort out the other 3 Plainfield teams for me. I can't do it.
No, thanks. Yeah. You just nailed one of the conferences that are bothering me this year.
Yeah, so I can't sort them out. I'm trying to figure it out on a weekly basis. You want to talk bubble teams? Let's talk all 3 of them. East, South, Central. I don't know how to sort them, and my opinion changes. My opinion changes every 15 minutes.
I really thought Central was going to rise. And I think, Joe, you agreed. Yep. You agree with me too, and we haven't seen it so far. And South, I just expected more, and it hasn't happened. And East has got talent, and they've got young talent, but here they are at 2 and 3. 2 and 3. So I don't know.
And what unfortunately could end up happening is they could end up playing those games, and they could all split, and they could all miss.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
Eventually they have to. Yeah, someone has to separate themselves here. So that conference in its own is going to be interesting to watch to see how many bids we get out, because it might end up only being the one that wins.
Yeah.
Actually wins the conference, and we might have to go through 3 tiers of tiebreakers, and you never know.
Yeah, that's what Edgy and I have been talking about, on the phone and stuff. That champion at that conference is the only team that'll make it.
Yep. My friend, you recovered nicely. We appreciate you joining us, and keep doing your way above average work, and we'll see you down the road.
High compliments. Thank you, sir.
Take care, Seuss.
Steve Susie, the Seuss, joining us. And again, always glad to have him part of the show. And it's going to be fun, Joe. There's a lot of things going on right now.
Yes, a lot of big games to be played.
Yep, he definitely is cooking right about this time of the year, putting his stuff together.
Yep.
We're going to step aside. When we come back, we have one more segment. We will take your phone calls. We're going to break down some things, Joe. We're going to talk about area teams and maybe where we put our crystal ball on and see where they wind up finishing. You are listening to the Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
I'll second guest dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Who wants a career that's in demand with good pay, benefits, and is right in this area? You do. All you need is 1 month of training to get licensed in CDL truck driving. And Advantage Driver Training is here to make it happen for you. You've heard all the advantages of getting your CDL truck driver's license from Advantage Driver Training, like choosing from day or evening classes, taught by experienced truck drivers with individual attention in small class sizes, in a Secretary of State approved CDL school. This is a whole new career in just 4 weeks with one low price and no hidden costs. Take advantage of Advantage Driver Training's huge new facility for your future. Don't wait any longer. Advantage Driver Training has always been your best option for CDL truck driving school. So what are you waiting for? Get on the road to your new career. Call 815-725-5581 or go online to advantage-drivertraining.com. Advantage Driver Training. Going the extra mile for you.
Are you 65 years old or older and looking for additional coverage beyond what Medicare Part A and B covers? New Medical Advantage plans are available. You may be able to get additional benefits like dental, hearing, vision, prescription drugs, and possibly $0 monthly premiums. You don't get these benefits automatically. Time is limited. Call the Medicare Advantage helpline now for a free, no-cost, no-obligation consultation at 855-566-1990. That's 855-566-1990. We've helped thousands of people just like you. When you call, we'll speak to a licensed agent who will help you step by step to find the best coverage in your area. You may be eligible for free eyeglasses, free hearing aids, free meal delivery, and free prescription drug delivery. You may be eligible for $0 premiums, $0 deductibles, and no copays. Get the benefits that you deserve. Don't miss out. Call now for a free consultation. 855-566-1990. 855-566-1990. That's 855-566-1990.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor. And he can do just about anything because
I'll make the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
But the Hubbards use their 1025R because
we really are trying to create this homestead.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours? Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1-Series tractor for just $124 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Pigskin Preview with EDGYTIM on 1340 WJOL.
Evan, don't start with us, okay? Welcome back. Week 6 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL.
You said you didn't want to talk about
Will
it.
County's News Talk Sports. When we talk baseball, we'll talk baseball.
And I left the room, and all of a sudden I come back, and you're sitting in the corner off camera, all depressed.
We're Sox fans. It's what we do. It's our coping mechanism, okay? Just deal with it.
Trying to figure out who the next manager is going to be.
I don't know. Do you want it?
I couldn't be as bad as the last guy.
That's for sure. That's true. More with it than the last guy. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you aboard. We've got one more segment. We're going to definitely get into it a little bit. 815-254-7300. Gentlemen, please grab your lovely handwritten sheet here by one Coach Joe Rudiger. I will show everybody on the stream.
I did a little work this week,
Joe
people.
put a little work in this week. So we have all the area teams listed here in the Will County area. And by the way, if you want to call and add in anything, 815-254-7300. By the way, Other Bob has not called in a while, and I believe it's Other Bob's birthday today. So Other Bob, if you're out there, probably 2/3 in the bag, happy birthday.
He's having his cake right now.
No, I'm sure he's having more than cake. So let's go through it. Guys, so we've got 5. Here are the 5-0 teams we have in the area. Lincoln Way East, Wilmington, Reed Custer, Lemont, Plainfield North, Morris. Joe, Lincoln Way East final record.
9-0.
Evan.
9-0.
Edgy. 9-0. Wilmington. Joe.
8-1.
Ooh, we know who you're picking. Evan.
9-0.
Edgy. 8-1. Joe. Reed Custer.
9-0.
Evan.
8-1.
Edgy. 9-0. Lamont. Just 9-0.
Yeah.
Everybody.
9-0.
9-0. And again, we had a question earlier on the stream about Lamont. I've said from the preseason, this is a really good team. And I think they are a really good team. But what scares me about Lamont, Joe, is the same thing that scares me every year about Lamont. And it was Chris Wolbeck that posted that, the Chinese bot that's following us, asking about Lamont. Chris, it's the regular season schedule that scares me about Lamont because they're just not going to get tested the rest of the year. That scares me. But 9-0.
Have to get past East St. Louis if it shakes out.
Right. Plainfield North, Joe.
I'm going to go 9-0.
Evan?
8-1.
Edgy? 9-0. I can see the torches being lit now. Joe Morris?
Boy, oh boy.
Those are two tough games here in week 6 and week 9.
I'm going to go 8-1.
Evan?
8-1.
Edgy? 9-0. Go you Morris football team.
Oh, I hope it's
going to be tight.
This game is this game tomorrow night is the clincher for me.
2 4-1 teams in the area: Joliet Catholic Academy and Minooka Indians. Let's start with Minooka Indians. Joe, final record?
4, 5, 6-3.
Evan?
6-3.
Edgy, 6-3. Imagine that. Great minds think alike. JCA. Joe?
8-1.
Evan?
7-2.
Edgy, 7-2. Okay. 3-2. Quite a few teams at 3-2. Providence, Peatone, Coal City, Bolingbrook, Lockport, Lincoln Way Central, Lincoln Way West. Joe, Providence.
6-3.
Evan?
5-4.
Edgy, 5-4. Peatone. Joe?
Let's see. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-3.
Evan?
6-3.
Edgy, 6-3. Coal City.
6-3.
6-3.
6-3. Bolingbrook.
7-2.
Evan?
6-3.
Edgy, 7-2. Lockport. Joe?
5-4.
4-5.
Edgy. 4-5. That was tough. Lincoln Way Central. Joe?
This week's game's I'm going to say 5-4.
5-4.
4-5. Lincoln Way West. Joe? Oh, this one's
5-4.
Evan? It's tough. You've got Lockport at Lincoln Way Central, at Andrew HF.
5-4.
I'll say 5-4. 2 and 3 teams.
It's a pivotal game right here.
Yes.
That one this week.
2 and 3 games. 2 and 3 teams.
Boy.
Plainfield East, Plainfield South, Plainfield Central. The impossible task. Joe, okay. Plainfield East.
I didn't know we were going to do this, so just give me a little bit here. 2.
Yeah, run a commercial, Evan. We'll come back. No, I'm kidding.
4-5.
Evan?
4-5.
I gotta go minimum 4-5 because there's 2 that I just think they're gonna get for sure. 2 kind of up for grabs. Plainfield South.
I'm gonna say 4-5.
That's what I'm thinking. It's there's so many gimmies.
4.
Yeah, 4-5.
5-4.
Plainfield Central. This is a team that should wind up 6-3. They should wind up 6-3. But that East game this week is tough.
Yeah.
And by the way, them and South don't get along either. That'll be a good game as well.
No, there was a time when that was the only playing field rivalry.
Yeah. Yep. Now even tougher. Joliet West, 1-4.
I'm going to say 5-4.
Look at you running the table with the Tiger.
I liked them from the beginning. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
All right. Evan.
I'm going to say 3-6.
Yeah. I'll go 4. Oh man.
Those 4 teams.
4 and 5.
Shake them up and just pick out a number.
4 and 5.
Yes.
And we know one of these 2 teams are going to win a game this year.
I'm picking Joliet Central.
Evan.
Joliet Central.
Steelmen.
Get
the win over Romeoville.
All right, my friend.
Good night, everybody.
No, I got a question
minutes.
for you.
Yep.
I talked to Edgy Evan this week, and I've been
can't believe we didn't talk about my game Saturday.
I'm mulling this Reed Custer Wilmington game, and I came up with this kind of scenario. I'm sure you saw the movie Seabiscuit.
Yes.
Okay. When they went out to check out War Admiral, they saw how big he was. The trainer called him a monster. His strategy was never let the monster get the lead. They got to go out front right away. I think if Wilmington has a chance to win this game, they have to get out to the lead.
So you're saying first team to score is essentially going to be the team that you think will win?
No, not necessarily, because in the movie, War Admiral caught up to him to tie him. I'm going to say point total
124. Kidding. Dewey wouldn't have a heart attack.
At least 35.
Total points? 35?
No, the winner will have 35.
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be a lot more than 35. I really
defenses
do.
will show up too a little bit.
I think we could. I think it could very much be like Edgy's game was last Friday. We could have a first half that's like 21-20, and then all of a sudden the game ends and we're looking like we're in the 50s. I really think that could happen. I just feel like these are offenses like you might be able to contain them for a quarter or two, but they're both going to find a way to score. Wilmington's going to run the same 3 plays the whole game, and they're going to find a way to move the ball down the field with, getting 5-6 yards a pop.
I just
Custer's
think
looking for the home run hit.
What scares me with having to play Reed Custer, I just think it's their time.
Could be.
I think it's their time. Their time to shine right now. We'll see. At home, undefeated.
It's always a lot of pressure, too.
Oh, I know.
16, 17-year-old kids handle that a lot differently than even 19 and 20-year-olds do.
Well, the coaches, same. It's a big game.
Kind
for
of
sure.
a veteran group, though, at Reed Custer from last year, though. Like Gavin
that means something.
It sure does. Although we talked to Jeff, Wilmington and Jeff Reince have been in games like this many, 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 many times. This is going to be maybe the second or third time for this group of kids.
Rita is telling everyone they better get to that game early tomorrow. It will be tremendous from a crowd standpoint.
They're not camped out already?
I know. I'm a little disappointed.
I just assumed that they were there like the midnight showing of a new movie or something.
Freaks Bar not having a pregame buffet and tailgate down there? Come on, man.
They're going to do it right, I'm sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
I'm leaving at 4.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we good? Yeah, that'll do it. All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Appreciate everyone listening and watching and calling. Really good crowd tonight. So it was great to see you guys here. I hope you enjoyed it. You can always go back and watch this the moment we hit stop at archives, so you can go back and watch the whole show. It's up there all week. You just go to my YouTube channel. That's where all these are archived. And EDGYTIM channel on YouTube. Just search that on YouTube and you'll find it. For the coach, Joe Rudiger, for Evan Bredesen, I am EDGYTIM. Thanks, everybody, for listening and watching. We'll see you next week. And, hey, go watch a game this weekend, will you?
Yes.
Good night, everybody.